My name is Sofia, and I'm 22 years old. I always felt like my name, which means wisdom, really fit me. At home, books were just as important as meals.
Hello. This video has a special challenge for you. I removed many words so you can practice your listening. Listen carefully. Comment if you managed to find them all or if you need help. Let's go.
My name is Sofia, and I'm 22 years old. I always felt like my name, which means wisdom, really fit me. At home, books were just as important as meals, and we built our future brick by brick with hard work. My parents, who are public school teachers, were so proud of me. I was their light, everything they hoped for and worked so hard to achieve. Our small house was a place where we celebrated every good report card, every speech award, every win in school contests. There was no doubt. I wasn't just smart. I was a born leader. I was meant for great things, with that special sparkle in my eyes that only truly ambitious people have. Because of my skills and charm, I was chosen without question to be the leader of the graduation committee for my class. Graduation. Oh, graduation. For me, it was more than just an event. It was the peak of years of hard work, sleepless nights, bitter coffees, and math problems that seemed to defy logic. For the class, the party, the trip, the photo album, and the ceremony were a golden promise of an open future. And all the money we saved, bit by bit, with raffles, parties, and a lot of creative ideas, was put right into my hands without a second thought. I was the guarantee, the symbol of everyone's trust. If anyone could talk to suppliers, manage the budget, and make sure every penny turned into unforgettable memories, it was me. After all, when people looked at me, Sofia, they saw no faults, only the shine of success to come. But even the brightest stars can stumble into darkness. My world, once focused on books and my big plans, started to open up to something new: online betting. It wasn't a sudden jump, but a slow slide. It started with an ad that kept appearing on my social media, or maybe a friend's exciting talk about the easy money the app promised. Curiosity, that tricky lady, pulled me in. What would I lose? I thought, with the innocent mind of someone who doesn't know what danger lies ahead. I started with very small amounts, just spare change. And to my surprise, I won at first. Small victories that sparked joy and the false idea of having control over chance. The graduation money, which I once thought was untouchable, suddenly seemed like a huge, inviting amount. Money I could multiply with a little smart thinking and luck. And so my downfall began. The first loans from the class fund for betting were justified in my mind. I was sure I'd put them back, with interest. After all, I was smart, and betting was just a new problem to solve. But after each loss, the need to win back what I'd lost grew stronger, like an uncontrolled fire burning inside me. The excitement of the bet, the eager wait for the result, became the air I breathed. I, who used to be organized and disciplined, started to pull away. Invitations to study groups, graduation committee meetings, casual chats with my parents. Everything became less important than the glowing screen of my phone, where digital fortunes went up and down in seconds. The secret, heavy and hurting, came between me and the world, slowly destroying who I was and trapping me in my own web of lies. My parents and friends, who used to look up to me, started to notice the subtle changes. I became more easily annoyed, had sleepless nights that left dark circles under my eyes, and my gaze was distant, my mind always somewhere else. "Are you okay, daughter? You've been so different," my mom would ask, her voice full of worry. I would avoid the questions, making up excuses about study stress or graduation pressure. I ignored the quiet warnings, the disapproving looks from a classmate who, by chance, saw me with the betting app open. A deep hole was opening under my feet, but I, blind from my addiction, kept going. I was sure that one last bet, that big bet, would bring back not only the money, but also the peace and control I wanted so much. The point of no return came with a huge bet, an absurd amount from the class fund, because I was certain it would turn everything around. It didn't. The screen flashed red, and the graduation money, everyone's dream, vanished like smoke. All that was left was the cold echo of despair and the bitter truth of ruin. The truth, like a cold dagger, quickly broke through the bubble of lies I had built. The date to pay the graduation suppliers was coming, and my silence, plus my growing isolation, raised a red flag among the committee members. First came doubt, then careful checking, and then the shock. The money, carefully saved for the big day, simply wasn't there anymore. The news spread like wildfire, setting the class ablaze with a mix of disbelief, anger, and a deep feeling of betrayal. How could Sofia, our Sofia, do this? Was the question echoing through the college halls, in WhatsApp messages, and at sad meetings. My parents, faced with the hard truth, saw their castle of pride and hope crumble. Their disappointment hurt even more than the financial loss. The police report was unavoidable. The coldness of the justice system, a sharp contrast to my youth and despair, showed no mercy. The legal process dragged on, and with each hearing, each testimony, the net of my choices tightened around me. The day that should have been the happiest of my academic life, graduation day, arrived. My classmates, feeling both joy and sadness, put on their gowns, threw their caps in the air, and celebrated finishing a big part of their lives. There were photos, laughter, and hugs. But my absence, the emptiness left by my betrayal, hung like a dark cloud over the celebration, a bitter reminder of the lost money and broken trust. While the orchestra played the victory march for the graduates, I, not far away, faced my own music, the deafening silence of a prison cell. The handcuffs, the sound of the door closing, the smell of damp and hopelessness, every detail burned into me the price of my bets. The class leader, the bright girl, the family's promise, was there, without her freedom, far from everything I once represented. And graduation, the dream of a lifetime, became just a distant memory, a future I had, with my own hands, destroyed. My story isn't just about rising and falling. It's a dark and urgent reminder of how looking for shortcuts and the temptation of easy money can ruin lives and dreams. The world of online betting, with its short-lived sparkle and empty promises, turns out to be a minefield of illusions. The thin line between harmless fun and destructive addiction is dangerously easy to cross. With every click, every bet, I wasn't just risking numbers on a screen. I was throwing away the trust placed in me, the respect of my friends, the pride of my family, and, in the end, my own freedom. My fall, so sudden and painful, shouts a universal truth. There's no such thing as easy money. Building a truly strong and promising future comes from hard work, dedication, and responsibility. These are the bricks of effort that, unlike bets, won't fall apart with the slightest gust of luck. My tragedy is like a mirror, forcing us to face the dangers of a culture that values quick gains over steady building and fleeting shine over lasting strength. Let my story serve as a warning, so we don't sacrifice our future for a bet, so the tempting glow of the moment never hides the deep darkness that can follow.